And welcome to Cruising with Kayfabe. I'm Mongo.
I'm Emily, and today we have Jeff and Rachel joining us.
Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Welcome back as always. We appreciate it because as we know it's pay-per-view weekend, it's double or nothing.
It can't be 50-50 from the two of us.
No, it's got to be with some more OG AEW fans who are who've been to double or nothing, who've been to pay-per-views and have just as much passion. So it wouldn't be a prediction show without Smokey and Rachel. So always glad to have you back.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us on this Memorial Weekend episode.
Love it. Love the 3-day weekend. So excited for this pay-per-view. I don't think I've been disappointed by Double or Nothing yet. So this is the 6th one. So I'm ready for it.
Yeah, a little different without the Vegas vibe. But
That's what I was just going to ask you. So what are your thoughts of it moving out of Vegas?
I don't mind it, but I kind of thought, it was one of those events that was kind of synonymous with it, besides obviously the COVID era where we couldn't, but yeah, I mean, and it's not a far distance, but good for them. This is the first pay-per-view, I think, ever in Arizona, right?
I believe so,
Is that correct? So, hey, yeah, I can't hate for them expanding the brand to somewhere else and letting them get to see the shows, even though, like I said, I am a little disappointed because I did associate Double or Nothing with Vegas.
And I'm kind of wondering if a deal with WrestleMania that's taking rumors right now, where they might be holding up a kind of residency by going back to there, if that's kind of another decision to see if they go back to Vegas or if Double or Nothing's going to go on the road now, because that could cause kind of some wrinkles in their plans. But once we get past the summer, we have 3 straight international pay-per-views, so AEW really has proved they can go everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. Getting international.
Yeah, I like it.
And I think it's cool because we're seeing more of the luchadors come through as we get closer and closer
to Grand Slam.
Yeah, I think that it's really smart and clever to really start introducing people and show us what we're going to be seeing. And going to these places is going to help do that as well. It's a more populated area for that.
And speaking of populated and speaking of Grand Slam, one of the stars of Grand Slam, we just got announced for the pre-show, so there was on our prediction card. However, I'm not going to lie, because I've been wanting the AEW tag team titles for women for a while, and I feel like this is kind of a little teaser of what's to come. So we have Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford taking on Harley Cameron and Anna Jay, which very new pairing, but Harley has chemistry with everyone, so I feel like it's going to be a fun, phenomenal match, and I can't wait to see Harley interact with Megan Bayne more, because she's already kind of had some casual interactions, some little funny facial moments here. But what do you guys think? What do you think, Jeff Mitchell? This match? What are you looking forward to? Who do you think is coming on top?
Well, since I always go first, I'll go first. I love the fact that Harley can get along with everybody. Hello. So that makes it even better. And then Anna Jay's coming out as well, which she hasn't, been able to do that probably since like the second cruise, So I love that. I think we're going to be able to see the puppet. I think that's going to come.
Yes.
So, and I like the pairing of
Who's it going to be, Megan or Penelope?
I have Anna Jay.
No, the puppet.
Oh, I think it's going to be Megan Bayne.
Oh my God, a little Megasis puppet.
Yep.
See, that's what I was asking.
Yep.
I like Alex, how he's going to be infatuated with everyone in the match. I agree. I think she's going to be like in love with everyone. It's going to be great.
But that's who I have. I have Harley Cameron and Anna Jay.
I like it. Ooh. Based on Smokey's face here, I think they're already going different.
You know how we got to keep it. I will say this too. I do like the Anna Jay Harley Cameron pairing right now. It just keeps them relevant. And yeah, I do like this tag team build that they're kind of trying to do. Because yeah, I would like to see a women's tag title. That would help get more eyes on the product and more people. Puppet Anna White. Yeah. But I'm going the other way because I think Megan Bayne can't lose here. I don't think this is her going to be her lost time in this tag match. So I'm going to go the other way.
I like it. I can see that. Hello, Chris. Everyone. Hello. Emily, what do you think here?
So I have this like weird. I noticed something the other night that no one else is talking about.
What's that?
So Harley was grabbing all up on Anna Jay's bum. I mean, how can you not? And Anna Jay turned and gave her the dirtiest side eye, and she backed off. And part of me is wondering, we've heard rumors about Tay being told that she should get herself ready and together to come out.
AJ reunion.
So a TJ reunion costing them the match. I actually have Anna Jay and Harley Cameron winning. So I'm thinking, like, I don't know, maybe Tay Conti gets involved, Tay Mello. Maybe she comes out.
Already putting the tinfoil first few minutes in the show. Look at this. Look at
when
this.
I saw like the dirty look while she's grabbing and biting on Anna's bum, I was like, oh.
Harley is just a fan of cake. That's okay. I guess the guys are sticking together. So I'm with Jeff. I think Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford take the win here. I do like your Tay Conti, Tay Mello prediction. That could very well play out and lead to it, but I think Harley, she's so protected in a way that even if she loses, it's not going to hurt her dynamic that she has. But I think, Megan, she's still back on the rise. I mean, she did have the loss to Tony, but they're putting a lot into her. They're putting a lot into her. I don't think they want to have her take a loss like this, but I think it'll be entertaining. I'm looking forward to seeing, Penelope Ford is probably going to take a lot of the big bumps. Bean's going to kind of throw people around, but you kind of know it's going to be Anna and Bean who are kind of doing most of like the physicality, and Harley and Anna, Penelope, kind of bumping around. So it'll be entertaining. I think it's a good way to start the pre-show. And curious what else the pre-show.
You're going to get some comedy stuff too because of the Harley. She's definitely going to be throwing some in there, and I think it'll be a good little warm up. Nice, get you going show. Definitely that kind of match to really get the crowd kind of alive. So
now for match order, I went Wikipedia match order. So if this throws off any notes, I apologize.
Nope.
So the first match we have on Wikipedia order is actually the first Owens final with Mercedes and Jamie. Now it's already starting to get split on we have. So what do we have percentages on this one before we?
56.5 for Jamie Hayter and 43.5 for Mercedes.
So pretty even keel split here. So Rachel, which side are you? Are you on the side of the CEO or are you on no one hits harder than Hayter?
I had lots of questions about this one. So because I wanted to make for sure like she wasn't going to lose any belts, because she has all the belts or whatever. But then I've been thinking this whole time that maybe if Mercedes does win, CEO wins, that she's going to end up seeing Toni Storm. I think that's what's going to pan out. But then Jamie Hayter could use the win. I mean, she could really use that, since she's coming back out and everything. So I'm like 50-50.
Flip a coin, make a guess.
I'm going to go with Jamie Hayter. So
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
She deserves to have something.
Man, I'm kind of with her a little bit. We're actually closer together now on that, actually. Same thing. This was a tough one to pick. Monet has plenty of, accolades and championships going for her, which Jamie, really only had that title run, which then got derailed because of injury, if I remember correctly. So, you know what I mean? I feel like Jamie definitely needs this more. But I know Monet, there's plans there for something for her in the future. We got Athena and we got some different things there because I know also she wants that push for the women's championship. But I feel like maybe Monet is another direction. So I'm going to go and agree finally with Rachel on one and go Hayter. So I'm getting some Haterade on this match. Yeah,
wow.
Little left turn for you there.
And also we are talking about the Owen, yes. And thank you, Matt, for the reminder. 26 years ago today we did unfortunately lose Owen. So this tournament is a great representation of his career and helping the Owen Hart Foundation with Dr. Martha Hart. So I do love that they made this tournament meaningful and that, the winner is, kind of getting a title shot. And it's been around for 3-4 years now. And it's turned out some pretty big winners and turned out some pretty big moments. I mean, who could forget last year, Ryan May winning and then immediately turning on Tony, or Willow winning and then going to Japan and becoming the New Japan Strong Women's Champion. So a lot of good has come out of it. Bryan Danielson winning the title at All In and having that tradition of this is kind of like that Royal Rumble where they get the guaranteed spot at All In a title match. It's pretty fitting for the legacy.
Yeah.
So, Emily, I know this one you've kind of gone back and forth on because
hard.
Wednesday you said one thing, but Thursday you said the other. So, is it CE no or is it Hayter?
So I think something with this whole Mercedes run is that she's elevated that TBS title to be equivalent to the women's title. She's the face of the division. She's the face of a lot, as much as Toni Storm is. They're very equal on a lot of things. Mercedes does a lot of like talk shows, and she's gone and done a lot of media. And I think that that's something very important to look at. However, I think that because she has that and she already does all of this with the TBS title, that if she was to take the women's championship, I would want to see her lose that TBS title first.
100%.
So I just don't want to see her win this. I want to see Jamie Hayter get this title and Owen Cup. I want to see her with that around her waist. I think that it would really be awesome to see another female that has worked with the company for a while really get to do this,
get that
and
recognition
hone in on it. Yeah, like Willow won the first one, Mariah May won the second one. This should be a breakout moment. This isn't something
like their Money in the Bank maker.
Yeah. Oh, and Britt Baker. So
Britt was the first one.
Britt and Adam Cole.
Yeah.
And that's what also makes you look at Mercedes and be like, well, maybe it is because Britt was the face of the company for a long time. So it's so hard to really pull at this one. But I, like you, Rachel, want to see Jamie Hayter take this because it's like she has worked so hard for so long and also was the face, also was a great champion.
Yeah.
And she got the shit end of the stick. So I want to see her face Tony and actually lose it properly or win it properly. Let's see what happens. I don't know. I'm caught up.
I will say.
Oh, and wait, I have one more. And Monet is cracking, guys. She is cracking after losing that New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Hayter can capitalize. Mongo's been waiting for a move to come out, and I'm going to let him take it.
It already happened, though. So
I know.
I said when this tournament started that my two winners were a certain group. I said number one, Jamie Hayter, and I'm sticking to Jamie Hayter. I think this tournament is built around a wrestler like Jamie Hayter. I think Em said it perfectly that this is the person who needs that extra little spark. Like Jamie Hayter is already one of the best women's wrestlers in the locker room. So it's not like a debate on her skills or her aura or anything like that. I think that Hayter's going to hit that Haterade one more time. Monet sold the shit out of it during the show. I agree with Alex that the Haterade is going to happen, that the Monet train's coming off the rails, because I think Athena does kind of get involved. And whether it's after the match, after she loses and it sets up All In, because I still think it's Destination Athena in Texas, title for title, and I see that's the next kind of chink in the armor where she's going to lose her TBS title. She's going to be clutching onto that title like it's Gollum from, holding that precious. But I think Hayter and Tony have that better story for me. She lost at her last Double or Nothing 2 years ago. She lost at Toni Storm. Getting it back from Toni Storm would be such a big moment at All In. But then you also have her going into Forbidden Door season. You have Hayter as your women's champion. Huge representation going over to England. So I still have my money on Hayter. I think Mercedes gets her first singles pin in AEW history here 1 year after her first debut match. And I think that's what I'm holding on. Is exactly 1 year ago tonight she debuted and she won the TBS title. I think she gets her first pinfall loss. And what better person to take it than Hayter? So I think it's Hayter. I'll be sad if it's also not Hayter, because again, I've been saying that's her since she came back, that she needs to get back in the title picture.
Well, this is her opportunity. I mean, this, like you said, this would be big. Get that dub against somebody who's undefeated that's been working a lot too. So I mean, definitely a good push in the right direction.
I agree. And then we have one that's maybe not so popular with some people, but I'm actually looking forward to this match because I like all 4 men in this match. But we have the Hurt Syndicate taking on the Sons of Texas, Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes. Dustin's really been selling the day one guys and the day one AEW people in this match. Hurt Syndicate, but Hurt people, the whole MJF, Cedric Alexander, is he coming? Everything has built up to it. So it seems like it's kind of in the middle of something bigger, but it's still entertaining. So, Rachel, do you think new champions or do you think the Hurt Syndicate are just going to hurt people?
These hurt people. First of all, the whole Texas guys, Sammy Guevara and the Rhodes, which I love the fact that the Rhodes came back out like he's starting to do something. They're ROH champion, so I really like that a lot. But it's for the tag team titles, and they already have a title.
Correct.
So they're not going to lose their title in this match. But Hurt Syndicate would lose their title in this match. So
Yes.
I think that Hurt Syndicate's going to retain the title. Yes.
Alex is on it.
I think the Hurt Syndicate is going to retain title, but I think it's going to be a really good match. I think there's going to be more stuff between Sammy Guevara. I think he's going to wrestle the most. I don't think that Rhodes is, but I could be mistaken. So that's who I got.
I mean, Sammy and Shelton did have a really good match together, so I'm excited to see how it plays out this time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, 2 in a row. Holy cow.
I know you get 2 in a row already to start the show.
MJF, I did too.
All right, Jeff, so
oh yeah.
Nice.
are they going to be hurting people, or do you think they're going to somehow the Sons of Texas will shock the world?
Oh no, I think they're going to hurt people. But I did kind of like Matt's comment there though too, because I did kind of wonder on the MJF Cedric possible shenanigans. But I think with the championships on the line, I think Hurt Syndicate's going to keep it. But I do think the same thing she said though too. I do think the Sons of Texas are going to get a nice little. This won't just be I don't think a quick match. I think there's at least going to be some back and forth, and I think they're going to at least get a few things in, and kind of show that they can weaken the the big dog, so to speak. So like you said, Sammy and Shelton had a good match too, so I think that's encouraging as well. So
I like it. All right, are you gonna hurt people, or are you gonna go with the day one guys?
So I think that this is like a really true test for Sammy and Dustin to see if they can withhold old feuds coming into the new, if MJF is part of this. Because MJF and Sammy and MJF and Dustin both have different histories. Just really curious to see how that's going to play out, if he turns on one or the other. Like, again, if Cedric comes out, does he turn? There's so many things that could happen with this match for the future stories that's kind of where I'm looking at this. For me, it's kind of hard because it's pretty freaking obvious. Like Rachel said, they're both going in with titles. They're both going to leave with titles. So I feel like there's something else we're not aware of yet. Something else is going to happen.
Like Matt said, and everyone too, like shenanigans.
Yeah, like this is just building up for something else. So Hurt Syndicate.
I agree. We'll be 4 for 4, like Wendy's on this one too. I think they're hurting people. I think Cedric does show up because I see the Hurt Syndicate losing in a certain way. So every tag team they beat have disappeared. And MVP alluded to this a couple weeks ago. He said on Dynamite, about Private Party being gone, about the Guns being gone. Every time they beat a tag team, that tag team essentially either disbands, like they claimed, or they disappear. So I think this is setting up to almost like an Avengers Endgame style thing. I know it was just thrown out for other stories, but I think it's going to be one of those things where there's going to be a gauntlet match, and that's how they're going to lose. That I think there's just a bunch of tag teams returning, wear them down, all in, and I think the final team's going to come out and dethrone them. So that way, it shows that they couldn't hurt everyone. So I think that's the underlying story. So that's why I think all these teams are coming in. That's why you have Crew and Top Flight being involved. So that I think they win, but I think, like everyone's kind of said, it sets up something further down the line because there's more brewing to this.
Yep.
And
Hey, that's
Von
2 in a
Erichs,
row.
that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, Von
I
Erichs
would
haven't showed
love
up
to
yet.
see Von Erich.
What if we saw like a 4-on-4 at All In with these guys and the Von Erichs with the Hurt Syndicate with MJF and Cedric?
That's what
There's ways to build the next story.
But I don't see Cedric turning on the Hurt Syndicate. If anything, he's the real fourth man.
No, I'm saying these guys.
I know. I'm talking about MJF and Cedric. I don't see him and MJF's teaming up. If anyone, I still see MJF. He's been referencing the Pinnacle, so we'll get to that when we get to that match. But he's been referencing the Pinnacle a lot. I still think down the road it's the Pinnacle versus the Hurt Syndicate. I'm going way out there. I'm going towards the end of the year. Pinnacle Hurt Syndicate's what we're going to end this year on.
Possible.
I don't know. I'm not crazy long-term
we've been unanimous on. 2 in a row we've been all unanimous on. And that Hayter Monet was almost 50-50. What were the numbers on this match?
Yeah, what were the numbers on the Hurt Syndicate? I'm guessing it was pretty large.
7% Hurt Syndicate.
Okay, that sounds right.
Okay.
All right,
13% gave them a chance. That's a pretty good chance.
It's kind of obvious who's going to win.
Well, you know.
I like Matt the clusterfuck ladder match. I will definitely always do a clusterfuck ladder match.
Yes.
So now, a match that Emily cannot wait for. And I'm happy because now it's the official AEW pay-per-view debut. She was here last year at Forbidden Door against Tony. But now, for the second time, she's going against Tony for the title. And she just pinned her to get this match. So does Mina have a chance? Is it Mina time now? Or does the Timeless one retain, Rachel?
I don't think that it's Timeless Tony Storm's turn yet to give it up. I think it's going to be a really good match and it's going to be close. But I think that she's going to like pin her really fast. You know, like it's going to be 1, 2, 3, boom, she's done, you know.
Like a roll up or something?
Yes.
Or the match is going to be fast?
No, like a roll up. Okay. No.
For the finish. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. So because I think she's going to go to Texas, Timeless Tony Storm, and go up against Jamie Hayter. And then if Jamie wins, and she be going to her own country. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So that's who yes, I have Timeless Tony Storm.
I like it.
Man. I feel like some of these aren't really fair for us to like, you know, have our
I know you don't have your disagreements as much on this one.
You can't really like on some of
I bet the main event there will be, because that one's definitely going to be Undertaker Hogan-esque.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a couple, but some of these I felt like were somewhat straightforward. So I'm the same. I'm fans of both women, and I am happy that Mina's here, and I think she is going to be a great addition to the division. She's also, you know, played that major role in that storyline with her and Mariah there towards the end, and also, you know, all their connections with Stardom and all that. But don't feel like it's time to take the championship. I do like Tony's character work and in-ring work because, I mean, she has been all in on it. Her rhyming promos, and she gets a little bit filthy and a little bit nasty, but not enough.
I love it.
You know, make the cactus scream in the desert.
Yeah, you know, but it's funny. I actually think it's really funny. So I see some comedic spots, I think, slightly in this match. And I think they're going to be worked into their work in the match as well. So looking forward to that. But then I'll throw in, does this maybe mark a return? Do we see Mariah May poke down the ramp or do something in this? Because, I mean, we've been seeing some stuff and we know all of their connections like I was talking about. So I feel like there's going to be more of the storyline and everything else in the coming future. And then we already talked about some of the other stuff that Rachel hinted on with Jamie Hayter and then going to her country. So Tony Storm.
Oh, you do like me.
What got to do with that?
Yeah, I agree with Matt. I think the fans are winners here. So I think I know here and go, but what are your thoughts on this match? Who do you think's going to win? What do you think?
I think she is timeless, and there's really nobody that can dethrone her at this very moment. I think, again, they're leading to Hayter in the UK. I think that it would just make sense.
Well, probably Hayter in Texas.
But that would be Texas. So they do have Forbidden Door.
That's after,
but that's
in London.
Too much.
Yeah.
That's what we're all saying, that if Tony loses at All In, Jamie can take the belt too.
Yeah, I think that would make the most sense. I see Mariah possibly, like Jeff said, coming out. But also there's another thing that we could see with Mina, and that's I can't. We could see what is her
Thekla?
name? Not yes,
Oh.
Thekla, but also
Okay.
AZM. How do you
Azumi.
We could see Azumi
Oh.
come out because again, there's heat with Mina, and they got to build to the future pay-per-views, so they have to kind of start.
Yeah, but wouldn't that go more with Monet?
I don't think
since
Azumi
she
would
took the belt off of her.
Yeah, I don't think Azumi and Mina would have anything, so I don't know. But maybe a Thekla or Mariah May. The Azumi, I think that would be I think if I would give him that betting odds, I think I would give that the very underdog odds. Forbidden.
No, because Mina and her have heat.
Not really. If anyone, Mina has heat with CEO.
True.
Because she's the one that CEO blames. And I think where Azumi kind of came in and already lost to Tony, I think they already kind of did their little push. So I'm not saying but I just think that would be probably closer to Forbidden Door. We could see her again.
Yeah, that would be where I would think it would be too.
Man, I guess we really are Wendy's tonight because I can't see Mina taking this. Just because I still see, I think we're all in agreement that Hayter's taking it at All In. So it's like spoiler alert for our next prediction show at All In.
Yeah, I guess so.
I still think that Mariah does show back up. I think that there's been a lot of smoke both ways, and no one knows if she's staying or leaving. I don't think anyone really knows. But I feel like every contract that's up, there's so much rampant speculation, and a lot of it's by design. Like as a sports guy, Jeff can back me up on this. Whenever someone's a free agent or a restricted free agent, there's constantly, well, the Raiders were interested and the 49ers were interested, and this person, they didn't resign their tender and they're going to go to arbitration to get more money. And if not, they're going to go to St. Louis. And there's always these speculations of where they're going to go. But Mariah's been posting a lot of pictures recently about being on vacation, with Mina, posting pictures of herself holding the title. At the All Out anniversary, she held a picture of her title from All Out. She's been teasing her gear from Double or Nothing last year. So I don't know, but this is where I could see it making the most sense, where maybe after the match, Rose Gold attacks Tony, and then that maybe Thekla comes out, and then we have Tony and Thekla and I can't even talk here, Mina and Mariah. But if Azumi came out, maybe that would be a come out. Maybe she comes out to help thwart. So I can see it, but I see this is where Mariah returns. If she returns, this is where I think it happens.
Right. If she does.
Point out, the numbers are numbering. 91% for Timeless Tony Storm and 9%.
Wow, y'all gave Dustin and Sammy more odds than you did my girl Mina.
Yeah. Hey, like I said, I like her and everything, but it's not her time yet.
No, I know.
Not her time.
I will say though,
you know whose time it is?
Nigel motherfucking McGuinness.
Yeah, baby.
I want to first say I am so thankful for AEW existing, just for the fact that Nigel has got this little resurgence and end his career on his terms. He got to come back. He got to come back at All In. He got to have a match at Ring of Honor. Now he gets a pay-per-view match. He had the match at Grand Slam. It's awesome to see him back, and to see Daniel Garcia and him together is phenomenal. Two technical wrestlers going against the best technical tag team in the business. I love that Nigel's standing up for Tony Schiavone, very old school. When you have a wrestler and commentator versus the non-wrestling commentator, they're going to protect them because, it's like when King used to protect JR, because JR wasn't a wrestler, but King was.
Correct.
I like that, even though maybe no, only I can pick on Schiavone. You can't pick on Schiavone. I like that. Like, I'm the one who's going to fight you. And when he said, I'm not going to just stare you in the eyes, I'm going to look you in your soul, like that whole promo battle, it really sold me on this match. And I think it's great. I'm looking forward to seeing it. But Rachel, who do you think? Do you think FTR continue the dastardly ways, or do you think that the Dragon Slayers, as I'm going to call them, come on top?
I think it's the Dragon Slayers. I think it's Nigel's time. That was hard to come out. I think it's going to be a good fight, though. I think Daniel Garcia is going to do really good as well. So I like this fight. I think it is good that you have a commentator come back and, he is going to end on his terms this time. So that's who I have. And FTR can take the loss. I mean, they can.
Can they?
I
I don't
agree.
know.
And I just want to point out real quick before Jeff, how comically small they made Stokely on this picture. It makes me laugh every single time I see it.
I chuckled too whenever it came up because I was like, "Aw!" And he doesn't even get a little Stokely under it. All right. So now we're back to normal. Now we get to be back to normal.
Here we go.
So, of course, super excited and happy to see Nigel wrestle another match. That alone makes me want to watch this match. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly, that right there makes me want to watch this match. I don't see FTR losing after just turning heel, and they're really trying to go over the top heel. So I think they need this to further ascend into their new attitudes and heel personas. So, yeah, we're going back and FTR and Stokely for the dub.
I like it. All right,
I think they're going to kind of beat them up too a little bit.
Ooh, yeah, almost like kind of send a message.
Yep, in essence. Nigel's definitely going to get to do his stuff though, for sure.
So I think that FTR has done way too much shit talking, and that Nigel coming back into the ring again, it's always just such a treat to see him in the ring and to see him sticking up for Shivani. I think that they're going to take this. I think Nigel and Garcia have this in the bag. After all the shit talking that's happened, it's time.
No, I think that's a good point. I think that there's been a lot of personal jabs back and forth, and it all started with some of the insults that maybe FTR perceived on the commentary desk, and it's kind of leaned into this. But I think FTR gets to win here, as much as I don't want them to win, because I think Daniel Garcia is joining FTR.
No.
This is part of my new Pinnacle theory.
He turns on Nigel.
You think it's Nigel?
No, I'm saying I'm with you.
Gotcha.
But I'm saying at the end of everything, when they lose to FTR, DG's like, "Fuck you, Nigel.
Yeah,
you're the fucking reason we lost. You old, you washed up, or you know what I mean, or something like that. You should have stayed in the fucking commentary desk."
I think so. I think
they were right. They were right. You know, or whatever.
Yeah, I think this is my new Pinnacle theory. I have FTR is coming back, but I think Daniel Garcia takes that Sean Spears role. I think that's the new Pinnacle, because I think Daniel Garcia is like, I tried it your way. I tried it to do and be the guy who do the dance, but it was never good enough for you guys. And MJF saw me and he had to beat it out of me. And FTR saw me and they had to beat it out of me. So I'm going to beat it out of all of you. I can see a character shift because there's been a lot of subtleties and a lot of little nuances. So I could see that. Or, I mean, again, it could just be FTR beating them both down and just being mega heels. But either way, I just think FTR comes out because, like you said, Jeff, I agree. They just turned heel. They had that first heel promo where FTR balled FTR hair in the ring and him saying, I'm talking, and going kind of full Karen mode. Just they're leaning into it, and I think they're doing a good job. So, but yeah, I definitely see FTR winning and Nigel getting a lot of his stuff in, because they're going to make Nigel shine, because I think he has a match at All In, or he's on Forbidden Door. They're going to have another match. I think he's like a 1 or 2 match a year person, and I think this is one of those ones. So I think they'll kind of let him showcase. This won't be anything. He's just going to get beat up. And it's going to be done.
Yeah, I think the beatdown's more going to be towards the end. It's Nigel that gets pissed at Garcia. Ooh. I would love to see Nigel get some more storyline and keep going. That'd be awesome.
That would be
maybe
cool.
It's those two at the next pay-per-view.
Ooh, Nigel and Danny. I like that.
That'd be cool too.
Also, Matt, why do you think in hell Nigel would join up with FTR after they brought up his medical condition from like 20 years ago? I know it wasn't 20, but I'm just making it sound better. Like, no, our boy, he's not. Nah, like he's not.
Poke the bear.
Now our boy Garcia.
Speaking of bald.
So we're going there.
AEW's first ever stretcher match. Now, I'm curious how they're going to do a stretcher match. Oh, sorry. Before we do that, it was 65 for FTR and 35 for Daniel and Nigel.
Okay.
Now for the stretch match, I'm curious. Do you think they'll do it like WWF, WWE did, and NWA somewhat did, where they put them on a stretcher and have to go over a tape part of the ramp? Like usually, you had to go up the ramp and put them on. Usually, lock them on a stretcher and go up, because all unrestricted really didn't give the rules. They just said it's the first one and you have to get them to the stretcher. But I know typically you put them on the stretcher, strap them in, and usually walk them up the ramp or walk them to a designated area. So I'm curious how they're gonna play this off.
When I was doing the research on it, in like AEW uses Wikipedia, or Wikipedia uses like the generic stretcher match is a hardcore match where a wrestler must incapacitate their opponent to such an extent
but Nigel,
that they are able to get them onto a stretcher and roll them to a finish line.
Yeah,
for
so like
victory. And it can also be used as a weapon.
Yeah, so it is a hardcore match. So that's why I thought, are they going to just put them on the stretcher? Because I think that's going to be hilarious. Both men are going to. This is going to be funny. If they just have to put them on a stretcher and wheel over a taped line or something, it's going to be funny because someone's riding that thing all the way down the ramp. Someone's going for a ride on their belly.
Yeah.
So, Rachel, do you think Bald's going to win, or do you think Mark Briscoe is going to win this
Also
one?
Bald.
He's less bald.
This is a little bit hard for me because I think that they both kind of deserve to win. But I think that whenever it comes down to it, I think Briscoe's going to win. He's going to get Ricochet on the stretcher and it's going to go. But I think there's going to be a lot of comedian stuff going on here. So it's yeah, I think it's going to be a good match, but I see Mark Briscoe coming out on top.
I like this one too. I like that. I like this dude that that slaps him on the head and stretchers him out. Like, can you imagine if he goes by the crowd and the crowd just starts slapping him on the head?
Oh, well, I was undecided on this match and how it was going to kind of play out because I was same with you on that stretcher part. It was like, okay, so what are exactly the rules and how is this going to work? But I know, both of these guys, they like and they're good wrestlers, different reasons. Mark definitely has that edge on more of that inflicting and taking pain and stuff. Ricochet's known more as that high flyer, a little bit more finesse, style and that type of stuff. A little bit smaller too. So I see this being good to elevate Ricochet for maybe some of that toughness, and giving him a little bit of credibility in that department. So, because he definitely has, I think, the better upside than Mark does at this point in their career. So I'm going Ricochet is the win, but Mark looking real good and doing a lot of good stuff in this match. But I think this is going to be used for Ricochet's benefit to help prove something.
Yeah, I think we see a froggy bow onto the stretcher. I'm going to call it now. I think.
Yep, I like that. Nope, I like that.
All right. So
one last thing.
I'm sorry, Jeff.
No, you're good. One last thing. So, do you think Ricochet gets some good color in this? I'll throw that out for everybody in the comments too. Does Ricochet really go all in on this? No pun intended with that part, but go all in with it. And does he get some good color in this match and really fucking do it?
Yeah, he hasn't really had color yet since he's joined, so that would be interesting.
And the bald thing. So let's see. I'd like to see how that's going to work for him.
I like the bald.
Well, ain't nothing wrong with the bald. I'm just saying.
All right. So do you think Ricochet's going to win, or do you think Mark Briscoe is going to shock the world and push him over the line?
So we already know Mark Briscoe can do a hardcore match. We've seen it. We've watched him really put everything he has into them. I'm ready to see what Ricochet can do. We've never really gotten to see this side of him. We've never, again, seen him bleed in a match like this. I think that there's going to be something to do with his golden scissors. Maybe he cuts himself out of the stretcher because it says like stuff about having to incapacitate them onto the stretcher. So you kind of have to knock them out a little bit in order to do that. So I'm just curious, like, can he cut himself out or does he cut Mark? Like, what's going to happen here? But let's hope that we get a nice stretcher figure set, but that's a bloody set.
Listen, it took him 5 years to give us a cardboard golf cart. I wouldn't get your hopes up.
That was bullshit.
I think. Briscoe. Suzanne says Briscoe all the way.
Yay!
Golden
That's what I think,
scissors.
too.
There's a euphemism somewhere in there. There probably is. I'm sure Urban Dictionary has something, Alex.
I didn't even think of that for once.
That's funny. I think Ricochet as well. I think that it's the builds. Matt said it earlier. I think the builds. I think Briscoe's that fun-loving, gonna get his stuff in. He's gonna get meaningful wins, but he can also handle some of the losses without damaging him. I think this is kind of Ricochet's to keep that heel. I think Jeff, you brought up a great point. I didn't even think of that. I think he does get some color. I think Mark gets some color. I think it's more violent than we're going to expect. Because anytime it's a no rules match, they take it to the limit. And like I said, I can see Ricochet surfing the friggin' thing down and jumping. I just see this being fun. And with it, anarchy in the arena looming and some of the precedents that they're going to want to go out there and say, we can't be undershadowed. We got to do something cool too. So I think there'll be good spots, but I think Ricochet gets it. I think they're still holding off a feud with him and Kevin Knight because they were teasing that before Knight went to Japan. So I think maybe this is kind of a good placeholder feud for Ricochet before they really start getting his next feud going. But I enjoy it. I'm just glad we
stretcher. Do you think they did a stretcher match because there was anarchy in the arena and it was something that they could use that wouldn't be a part of anarchy?
That's true.
Is that why you think they chose stretcher match since it's kind of a weird choice? You know what I mean? So
they almost like, what can we do as a stipulation that's hardcore but not really known for being hardcore? Yeah,
and it won't be used.
Right? And obviously, hopefully they don't, because that's what's up next. And as Justin Roberts famously says almost every time, shit's about to hit the fan, or welcome to the shit show. I think
Mark Briscoe does have a 26-74 odds.
So Suzanne, you have 26%. You're not alone. You have 26% of the people. And Rachel as well.
I'm not. Thank you.
So I will say a lot of cool facts about this Anarchy in the Arena. One, John Moxley is the only person to have been in every single one, which I think is interesting little statistic. This is the first time women have been in one. It's definitely Marina's wheelhouse. Willow shows she can go hardcore. The Elite and Kenny went from being rivals. Being faces, now being rivals from being friends. There's a lot of chaos here, but I will say my one hope is the music they play. And I said it last week. I hope it's Willow's music they play, because how funny would that be if Willow's theme is playing and that's when the chaos is starting? You hear that upbeat
plays for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what happened when we saw Anarchy in the Arena when we went to the Double or Nothing. What was that, 22?
Was that Wild Thing they kept playing?
Yeah. For like 15 minutes straight.
So Rachel, what do you think? And also, what do you think Gabe Kidd's involvement is? Because Rachel, he's been kind of lurking in the corner. Does this turn to a 7-on-7? Do you think that has anything to, or who do you think? Do you think that basically Team AEW or Team Ops, or do you think that the Death Riders and the Bucks win this one?
Well, I think it's going to be Kenny Omega, Willow, Swerve, and I think it's going to be a very bloody, nasty match. I think there's going to be lots of tables being broken. I think all of them, because I think all of them are going to fight at the same time, correct? It's not a tag team. They all fight at the same time, right?
You've been the one, yes. It's all, remember, it was all over the goddamn place.
Exactly.
It was kind of hard to watch.
Yeah. And I'm glad that the two girls are really going at it, because we haven't really seen much out of whatever her name is. What's her name? Marina. I was right. I was going to say Maria, but anyways, out of Marina. So I really hope to see some of her actions and everything. Plus, it's the Young Bucks can take a loss. John Moxley can take a loss. Like, he has the belt. And Mr. Sir needs to cut his bangs. I cannot see his eyes, and I don't like that. So,
well, you notice he's growing his hair and his shagginess out. Yuta is starting to kind of look like his old mentor, the American Dragon.
Kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
Damn it, Alex hit my spot there on his last comment. So, but go ahead.
No, that's who I have.
You got the good guys.
I have the good guys.
See right there, Alex was kind of on some of those things I was going to hint on, I think, too. So, all right. So Okay. Yeah, I'm actually going with the good guys as well. But yeah, I think you get Gabe Kidd's involvement, and then I think this is Hook's return. So I've kind of been waiting for that. The ops has kind of been a different thing without him. Not that it's been bad, but just been a little different.
I love
But yeah, this is definitely going to be a wild, all over the place match, and I'm definitely happy to see the ladies' involvement in it. I will go with that too, which I know we spoke on in the past in this rivalry and feud. Seeing the ladies go at it more and get more involvement in this and having a bigger part. So I'm happy for that. And yeah, this is going to showcase a lot of people just like they always do. Going to get violent, going to get some color. But yeah,
What do you
I'm
think
going
about
with the
Gabe?
good guys.
What do you think about Gabe Kidd's involvement?
He's going to interfere, but like I said, I think that's when Hook's going to come out and save the day, so to speak. Make
So you
his
think it'll be
presence known again.
So Hook will kind of be the unofficial seventh man.
Yeah, so then that would give the 7-on-7 kind of vibe you were talking about for Rachel earlier. So that's why I was thinking that, and that's why I said Alex's comments kind of up my alley. Because I think if that goes 7-on-7, it's that way. But if not, then it'd just be Gabe interfering, I guess. But also, I think this I picked that because I think this is kind of more of the unwind of the Death Riders. Because I think
Yeah, like the death nail, first death nail. Like,
yeah, it's just that first step. You know what I mean? Maybe second step ish. So that's where I'm going with that loss. So that's why I picked the good guys in this.
all right, what do we have for numbers on this one? Because I think we were this was pretty evenly split, wasn't it?
No, 70 for the Ops and Friends, and 30 for the Death Riders and Young Bucks.
Yeah.
Daddy's home. I love that. That's great. And Suzanne, I actually think the exact same as far as Eddie Kingston comes. You guys are thinking Hook.
That could
I'm
be your one
thinking
too.
Eddie. Yeah. But also, if you look at this, you could have even more people coming out because you have Jack Perry and Pac and
Pac's injured. He won't be making it.
yeah, but I'm just saying that there are many things, and he could drive that ambulance. Okay, so my big brain thought the second I saw what Alex said is what if they put whoever into the ambulance and then it transitions into Anarchy in the Arena, and one of the guys from Death Riders is driving the ambulance off into somebody from, like, say they drive it into Samoa Joe and start the match.
I think you guys both
Way
going
too
off
far.
way too off the
But
rails.
that would be such a great transition. Like, oh, this match ends, close the doors, start the next match.
Wow, I think you're thinking too much of Stadium Stampede-ish.
Yes.
Back to our 20th episode.
Thanks, out of the ring, cheap plug. So you think that I like that you still want to use your Ops and Friends tag. I love it. Commitment to the bit. So you think everyone thinks the good guys are winning, huh?
Yes,
Sounding that way.
I guess I'm lone wolf in this because I think the Death Riders and the Bucks win.
Nice.
Really?
I think that All In has typically been like the happy ending pay-per-view. That for the long, think about last year, Bryan Danielson winning the title. All In has been that pay-per-view where like that's their big recess, their big moment. So I agree. I think that the Death Riders are starting to kind of get those kinks in their armor, those death nails, they're getting chipped away at. You have Gabe Kidd, but he also, Moxley has other tricks up his sleeve, and that's the issue, is we haven't seen everything yet. And I think this is going to be where either the next person or someone who's been working with them is going to reveal themselves. I do also think we get the Mad King or Hook back. If Eddie Kingston's cleared, I think it's him. If not, I think it's Hook.
Yeah.
Someone's coming back, but I think it's going to be too much because, you still have Kenny who's got to go against Okada, presumably next month. You have Jack Perry. And that's where I think when you said it, you kind of tipped me back to where I was really thinking. I think Jack Perry is the secret weapon for the Death Riders. I think that's what everyone's underestimating. I think that it's going to be, you don't know which side he's on because he's already shown frustration with the Bucks. He's already shown that when he went to Japan and he lost, he looked at the Bucks and House of Torture. He wasn't happy. And he seems that like he joined the Bucks, he took this big risk, and he couldn't take down the company last year. Last year, he was friggin' set on fire, and they didn't really do anything about it.
Yeah.
So I think that's sat in the back of his
They put
mind.
the fire out.
Yes, but they didn't stop him from getting set on fire. So I think Jack Perry sides with the Death Riders, and I think that it does eventually lead to the Young Bucks and Swerve having a match, something else. But I think it's the Death Riders and the Bucks because Jack Perry is going to be that other person. You said a lot of people are going to come out. I think Jack Perry is going to be someone that no one's expecting to come out. He's going to come out and help the Death Riders win. Because I think they are still behind Jack Perry. They're just trying to find that right story. I think this is the story.
Nice.
All right, guys, I have one last question about this match in particular. Comments included, please. What do we think the wildest weapon is going to be during this match? I'm thinking it's whatever the Young Bucks create, because they always create something crazy.
Yeah, they had the exploding chair, exploding shoe.
Chair. What do we got now? Exploding ladder.
We had Eddie Kingston trying to burn someone with gasoline.
Darby flamethrower. What are you guys thinking?
A cactus.
I'm thinking
I
fire.
kind of like that cactus idea, but man, that would suck.
I can see someone like Yuta just getting walloped with a cactus by Samoa Joe, like him just using it like a baseball and just knocking him around with a freaking
But
cactus.
aren't those
or moving out of the way and he falls on it?
Yeah.
Aren't they kind of poisonous?
No,
I think I think they can get the cacti. I guess that's the plural.
there's different ones.
I think they can get the cacti that looks real.
Yeah,
I
that
still
looks
think they
real.
pull the
Okay.
trigger on an ongoing alliance between the Elite and the Death Riders. It could be based. That is true.
True.
The Elite and Matt, Gabe Kidd did put Eddie Kingston out.
So what if
Cactus with a bang bang written on it? Yes, bang bang.
Like, I don't know how this would logically work, but what if instead of like a bag of tacks, it's a bag of cactus pricks?
Like the barbs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think there'll be a barbed wire tribute to Sabu. I think there'll be something.
Cool.
There'll be something.
Something in there, yeah.
Either like,
Joe's wrestled him.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a bloody match.
And Moxley, he was one of the people he always cited as him and Sandman are people he loved watching. When he's breaking it. So I definitely see this going to be a tribute to Sabu, which as they should, because last year's Double or Nothing or the year before, excuse me, when Sabu
came out,
which was a really cool spot. So I think it'll definitely be a tribute. And I think that they were really good with the Terry Funk tribute when Swerve wore the pants during the Hangman match. So I think they're usually good at honoring the legends in the right way and doing the fun stuff. And they're not afraid to take risks. And there's a lot of crazy. Swerve's not afraid to get down and dirty. Kenny Omega's done some hardcore wrestling, obviously exploding barbed wire. Willow's shown it. Shibata's crazy. He's going to run through walls. Some Mojo. Everyone there is going to be a bloody mess. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be fun. I think that they're going to try to top the last year's, and I think it's going to be insane. Not Darby hanging upside down, getting super kicked in a broken nose, insane, but insane.
Also, Will Hobbs getting spun around by Claudia would be just wild.
I don't know if Claudia could pull it off, but I'm here for it if he does.
They've had weeks to train. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So now we are at the Continental Championship, which could be on the verge of being retired soon.
Thank God it's not a hair versus hair match.
Oh, they both got good hair too.
I know.
But Okada kind of teased us all this week. He didn't throw out the bitch line. He came and then he came back like he was going to say it, and he didn't say it. So it almost kind of seems like, is Okada kind of leaning more into less being like, I got to be more serious now? Like, is he kind of going back into the more serious heel Rainmaker? So I think we get a little bit more effort, so to speak, out of Okada. So what do you think, Rachel? Do you think Speedball has a chance to shock Okada and take the title, or do you think Okada beats him and calls him Speed Bitch after?
That's good. The Rainmaker. I think Okada wins. I think it's going to be a really good match, and I want Speedball to win, but I don't think that this is the time for him. So I think Okada retains, and then I think he's going to end up facing somebody else down the road. So that's what I think. Anyway.
Yep.
I like it. She's setting him up for Kenny and All In. So
yeah, and I'm kind of in that same thing. I think it is going to be a good match, but I'm also going to go with Okada. I definitely think Speedball's going to get to shine in this. They're definitely going to have some great spots and some good storytelling in the match. But yeah, I think the bigger picture has Okada retaining. So
I think Speedball gets the hair award though. I love his hair.
I also like that he posted a picture of Veda in like an orange and black dress with like aqua pearls and like held up the Fred Flintstone picture. And I'm like, the first joke that came in my head is, I don't look like him. You yabba dabba doo.
Nice.
All right. Do you think Speedball wins or do you think Okada retains?
I am probably a lone wolf on this one. I want Speedball to take this. I think
Well, I
that
wouldn't say hard.
it's waited so long for him to get to AEW. We were sitting here very impatiently awaiting his arrival. So for me, it feels like he's been here for so long.
Canadian waterfall?
I just really, really want to see Speedball have a championship run like Orange Cassidy's. I miss that. I think Tony Storm's kind of giving us that right now, but I do miss like the big 25-man match to beat Orange Cassidy.
You just want another multi-man match for a title.
I just want to see somebody have that epic workhorseman title run.
Fair.
Like, where's Adam Cole? We'll talk about that later.
He's up next, according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, I was going to say he's added, just not for the belt or championship.
So, that's my point.
I agree. I don't think they're taking off Okada yet because I think they're going to do a title unification match, Kenny Omega versus Okada. They've been teasing it since Kenny Omega's come back. I mean, really, when Kenny Omega was attacked the first time, Okada, being the reason that he was kicked out of the Elite and him kind of showing up at Dynasty, all of the little seeds, they always frame the All-In poster. So as much as I want to see Bayley, I think this is also Bayley's first pinfall loss in AEW. Again, he hasn't been pinned. He hasn't technically lost by a pinfall yet. So first person to do it is Okada. I don't think you're looking so bad if the first person you lose to is the Rainmaker. So I think he can afford the loss here. Even if it's some shenanigans like a ref bump and Okada does a low blow and then hits a Rainmaker or something to kind of protect him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was at with it too, is there is a little maybe protection.
I can see him flipping off Speedball and the Speedball kicking his finger. And as Cam can tell you, Speedball's kicks hurt. I'll never forget we were at DPW and Cam stuck his hand out for Speedball to do the kick. And he kicks, coming back, he goes, he's shaking his hand. I'm like, well, I mean, what do you expect? He's in Taekwondo. He's got a black belt. What did the poll say on this one for the pick'ems?
87 Okada, 13 for Bayley. So I'm not alone.
No.
So Briscoe and Bayley have the same odds, but Mina still gets less than 10. I see what you guys are. Yeah. But I also want to ask Matt, Canadian waterfall. I don't think I've ever heard that for a mullet before, but I like it.
You can put that in the chat.
I didn't either, and that was awesome. 30. I liked it too.
No, I like the name Canadian waterfall, but
yeah, I thought that was awesome.
I thought that was just
a sneaky good match that was made last night. I'm looking forward to after their chemistry. You have the Paragon and the Don Callis family. Lots to love about this because you have Fletcher, who eyeballed hard Adam Cole last night, wants that title. Mm-hmm. Takeshita and Alexander teaming together. The Messiah of the Backbreaker going against one of the best technical wrestlers in Josh. Every single matchup in this match, the one-on-one capabilities are phenomenal. So I know it's just a little showcase match, but I'm looking forward to this match. I think this will be a sleeper good match.
Well, so I have picked, which I do not like Roddy. I really don't.
So stupid.
I just don't.
Always hating on my boy Roddy.
I feel it's his face. He's very punchable.
And that's fine. But there's other guys with punchable faces too. Like
Kyle O'Reilly.
Listen, his wife is dealing with some anarchy. Let him have this good match.
Yeah.
But I do see Adam Cole and Kyle Fletcher really going at it because I think down the road, them two are going to have a chance for that belt. So, but I have Paragon winning. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be bloody, but I think it's going to be interesting.
I like it.
Screw Roddy.
Is Jeff going to hit his Messiah of the Backbreaker?
Well, yeah, I mean, I love my Messiah of the Backbreaker. Oh, Adam Cole, baby. Matt. Yeah, I do like the Paragon and everything else. I kind of think this is kind of a tough one to call, though, in certain ways. Like you said, I do think it's going to be sneaky good as well, but that's tough to call because really that's three top guys on that Don Callis family side where it's like, man, that's really kind of tough to pick against them. You know what I mean? Especially because they're on television all the time. They're in storylines. You know, what does a loss to the Paragon do to them?
Right.
Because I want to really root for, because I like all of Paragon. You know, definitely been a fan of a lot of them guys for a while. So this is one I was 50-50 on. So
What was the crowd on this? See if that helps him at all.
We don't have a crowd one for.
Oh, because no picked it. Oh no. I forgot it was a late edition.
yeah, because this is another late edition one. So I'm gonna go because Rachel and I agreed several times. I'll agree with her with Paragon. I'll just go with my heart pick this time instead of rationalizing it.
I like it.
It's still tough to pick against the Don Callis family, though.
It is, especially with Lance Archer lurking around.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what do you think? Do you think Paragon, or do you think Mr. Hot Dog himself's royal family gets the win?
Nah, no more hot dogs. I think that Fletcher and Cole have been feuding, and I think that it's time for Adam Cole to really put himself out there with this championship. I'm going to call him out. You are not a fighting champion. You have not really defended this title. You're taking the easy way out now. You've got a 3-way match and your title's not on the line. I'm tired of it. Fletcher is going to beat the shit out of him. And I think that it will lead to the future of that story. I don't really care about these results. I think Paragon takes it. But I'm more interested in seeing what comes from this than this actual match, to be honest. Like, I know that sounds stupid, but I just want to see this get over with and tell me what happens next. I want to skip a chapter.
Well, I agree with you on that storyline point. I do think Paragon wins because of that storyline, like you said, to set it up. So that's why I think they got to get the dub.
You're really gonna make me lone wolf 2 matches in a row?
You made me lone wolf Speedball
against Okada. I mean, but that's because you love yourself Speedball. You love you some Speedball.
They're my new favorite wrestling couple, guys.
I also love the bromance between Takeshita and Fletcher,
baby.
And I love Alexander.
It's tough.
As hard as it is, I got to go with my gut. My gut says the Don Callis family, just because I just see something big for them. Takeshita needs something for All In. Fletcher and Cole makes sense. Does Takeshita and Alexander kind of get in the tag title mix and go against the Paragon separately? Like, it's hard, but I see Paragon losing. I see the Don Callis family winning, and maybe there's some shenanigans. Like, you see someone else, Roppongi Vice, maybe. I don't know. There's so much to unpack here. Like Emily said, you said the storyline, but I see the Don Callis family getting the win.
And it does say Don Callis family. It doesn't say the 3 of them. So is there actually like 7 to 10 people?
Well, and if it's a trios match, there's no rules anyways. As far as that anyway.
So you could have Lance Archer, Roppongi Vice, just 3 people. Roppongi Vice.
Oh, it's so cool that they came back out as them, even though it's a little bit different version, but I did like it.
It is. But now, I said earlier, I know I don't want to get the smoke from it because people get mad, but I haven't seen a 50-50 match like this in AEW probably in years. This is probably the most torn I've personally ever been, and seen essentially the consensus of the audience. Who wins and goes to All In? Does Will Ospreay win the tournament and have Hangman lose his second Owen? Does Hangman have his redemption, go on to All In to capture that title that he never truly got a good run with? I'm very conflicted. Both outcomes I'll be okay with because both outcomes make sense. But Rachel, you have the hardest job tonight. Who's going to win? Going versus Hangman Page or Will Ospreay?
Well, I do like cowboy shit. And I think we're going to see a lot of buckshots because that's like one of his signature moves. So, and I would like to see more like acrobatic stuff from him because Will's really good. So, but I think it's already been Hangman's time. So I think, of course, Will's going to come on top because he's my favorite. So I do. I have Will on top and I have him going also to All In. So.
All right. Rachel's going with some
Oh, you're brubbing it up. Why did that not surprise me one bit?
Of course.
She tried to ask me one question earlier, and I was like, I'm not telling you that one. And I'm like, but I can tell you you're picking bruv. And I thought she might actually not, but So
I have always.
I know. Okay. So this is a great
Stand
opportunity.
behind your man.
Nope. I'll differ anytime. This is a great opportunity for both men to burst into the world championship scene. Will is kind of that easy choice. Like, we all love him. And like Rachel picks him all the time, which is fine. He does win a lot of the time. But I'm going to have to go the opposite way and go Hangman. I think he needs this opportunity. And it's kind of that same as the Jamie situation earlier, I feel like. He really needs this because Will can do whatever. I mean, Will can't, let's be honest, Will can't do no fucking wrong. I mean, anything he kind of touches fucking turns to gold. So, and then with Hangman's current character arc and development, how he's kind of went through all this changes and the different stuff. So, I feel like Will's fine here, but this can elevate Hangman substantially and kind of get him back into that spot that he was in those first couple of years, like 2 years with AEW, when he was chasing the title, and then he had it for a little while, and then, the steam kind of all was just gone. But I think this can really get him back into that. So I think it's going to be a very physical, hard-hitting match, though, as well. But I'm going with some cowboy shit.
I love it. All right.
Sorry, Rachel.
Emily has gone back and forth in this. I've heard her say both people many times this past few weeks. She's given me reasons for both, and then she's talked herself out of one and flip-flopped to the other. So now that the lights are on, the mic is on, and the recording's on, who is winning the Owen Hart tournament? Will Ospreay or Hangman Page?
Will Ospreay. I think that there's so much that goes into that promo battle they had the other night. I could not, the fact that Will Ospreay saying, no, I need this to start my real AEW run, basically. He's like, no, it's my time to be a champion. And Hangman's like, I need it back. That's the difference. Is Hangman's had this and lost it. He knows how that feels. Ospreay doesn't know how it feels to have this. And I think that that's going to prevail over everything else, is that he doesn't know how good it tastes yet. So I predict, with how emotional they got, Ospreay's going to take it home. He's going to get the big one. Plus, you got to remember, same with the women. This isn't just a match. This is a whole presentation. This is something that is very prestigious with Martha. This is a big deal. And last year we saw it was a very different outcome at the end, with Martha presenting the trophy to Brian Danielson. And then also with not Tony Storm.
Mariah May.
Yeah, with Tony Storm and Mariah May. You didn't see the same kind of celebration happen. She waited a while to celebrate. She wanted Mina there to celebrate.
Well, that was when she won the title to celebrate, not the Owen.
Oh, yeah. But anyways, when it came to that Owen celebration, it wasn't the same as it was the 2 years prior.
Well, that's because she destroyed Tony.
Exactly. So I think that the presentation of this award is going to be a lot, not the award, but the cup and the title belt, and to get this big prestigious thing. I think it's going to be a bigger deal for Ospreay than it will be for Hangman.
See, this is where we disagree. And again, I love Ospreay.
Maybe we just want Hangman on top, Rachel.
I think
Ospreay.
I think Ospreay will win the world title, but I think he wins that next year at Wembley. I don't think it's Ospreay's time yet. I think Tony's big about moments and making the moments matter too. And people don't always put that together but certain things. Ospreay has a tattoo of the first time he wrestled in Wembley. Wembley means a lot to him. I can see him winning the title at Wembley next year because Will has tried and failed. Now this will be twice for the world title. That could be a story in itself. He lost against Swerve. Everybody thought he was going to beat Swerve before All In, go to Wembley with the title. Swerve won. I think this is Hangman's story to win. From the moment they announced tournament, the two people I said who were going to win the tournament were Jamie Hayter and Hangman on page, and I'm staying consistent. I think Hangman wins. Hangman goes to All In. I think he wins the title. I think he's the one who can match, just like Darby can. I think he can match Moxley's level of crazy, and I think he wins the title. But again, I think he still has to do things to win the title.
Oh yeah.
Maybe he doesn't want to necessarily do.
Yep.
But Will is 0-3 against Ospreay. So the only way I can really see Will winning is if they screw over Hangman because Moxley knows he has an advantage because Ospreay has yet to beat Mox. He's 0-3. Hangman has beaten Mox, so he knows what it takes. So I think that's the subtle story they've been telling in these promos too. But I think it's the redemption. And I think I've been back and forth, but that promo battle, it's funny. It sold you for Ospreay, but it sold me for Hangman even more. So but I think either way, you want to say who wins? The fucking fans win. Because either way, Ospreay wins, it's going to be a damn good match at All In. Hangman wins, it's going to be a damn good match at All In. I think both men have stories that make sense. Both men have title paths that make sense. And I think that's why it's so hard because it's not like it's Hangman versus Hook in the finals. Like, no offense, Hook's not winning it, but that's very interesting.
I think it's shocking that we are 70 Hangman, 30 Ospreay.
I don't think it's shocking.
Really?
I think Hangman.
I thought it would be 50-50.
I think Hangman's a lot more popular than people give him credit for. I think a certain situation derailed a lot of his momentum, but I don't think his fans have ever gone away. He had fans in Ring of Honor, and people always say, "Oh, the Sasha Banks fans travel." The Hangman fans followed from Ring of Honor, and I think he's got a pretty big following. I mean, look at the personally.
She's got a Bullet Club Hangman shirt from Ring of Honor because we got to. Well, I saw him when he was a young boy, and then she got to see him when he was in the Bullet Club.
It'll always be weird seeing Hangman with a vest and trunks instead of pants because, like, when you see old school, oh yeah, that's right, the bandana, the vest, and the trunks.
Yep.
I miss Bullet Club Hangman where he had the noose. That was another level of Hangman.
And
I had a shirt that had the noose, but I had to get rid of it. So
yeah.
No.
We had found shirts at Hot Topic right before the cruise, and I got my Hangman shirt, but it's just a giant horse head.
Now
it's Hunter
Horse Helmsley.
Yeah.
But I still love this day. I had a vigilante club from the guy who played Arrow, and she's like, "Oh, who is that? It kind of looks like Green Arrow." I'm like, "Keep going," and then she goes, "Oh," and then she stole that shirt and I never had it again.
I stretched out the boobies.
Yeah,
I need a Will Ospreay shirt.
Yeah, you do need to get a Will Ospreay shirt.
I do, because he's going to win all the time.
Well, I mean, you're not necessarily wrong. You can get one. Yeah.
The Titty City one, Matt, or no? Awesome. So before we have any other bold predictions they didn't get to, or like crazy thoughts about Double or Nothing they didn't get to?
I think we're going to see a lot of people coming out. A lot of people coming back. I do think Eddie Kingston's going to come back too.
I've been seeing stuff about Eddie too, working out and getting rehabbed and being ready to come back for his injury. So
yeah,
shout out to Cesar Bononi for being his trainer too.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe the Cedric Alexander. We talked about the Hook, and then Eddie, Thekla. Here was a couple I had seen that I was maybe thought were interesting. What about what is it? Nixon Newell? What was Tegan Knox?
Oh, Tegan Knox is Nixon Newell, yeah.
Or Isla Dawn, I can't think of her other wrestling name, but you got a Welsh and Scottish possibly that could come out since you do have a show going to be over in the UK before too long.
Interesting. I like it.
And then my other one that I would love to see, just I guess for a little while even, is the Good Brothers.
Ugh.
Sorry, just for a little bit.
She got burned on them in the pandemic AEW.
Sorry.
I
They
mean,
did their job.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed
she's
to
still
like them.
2020 Elite wasn't Emily's favorite version of the Elite.
Right. No, I've heard a little bit about it. We always tell her it's because they were the heels. They were supposed to. They were doing their job.
I will say though, they have big shoes to fill. No benefit for the previous, because we watched, because now Max has all the Double or Nothings on there. So we watched every
good.
single Anarchy in the Arena Pass. We watched, was all 4 of them? 3 of them, excuse me, because there's 2 stadiums, right? Yeah, 2 stadiums, 3 Anarchies. It's the Partridge Pear Tree. So we watched all of it, and it was definitely different to see the variations. I'm curious to see that they'll step it up a notch, but I am definitely excited for this pay-per-view. I can't wait to watch it. We got steak subs we're going to grill. So do you guys have any food or anything fun you guys are going to cook up for the show? Or anything fun planned?
We probably will.
We'll make something. I
yeah.
usually end up cooking something, that type of thing. Either we do either snacky type stuff or, something simple but good.
I can guarantee I'll be drinking.
Well, we're off, so that's even better because you can kind of enjoy the show more
Yeah.
than maybe
You
you
don't have
normally
to
would, on a
worry
Sunday
about going
night.
to work with that being tired from all the wrestling. The wrestling hangover is
Yes.
real, regardless of
It
alcohol.
is. It really is.
We've said it a couple times from going to some live shows. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But even the
This last
adrenaline,
one
like
was so fun.
that main event is gonna just
You want to keep
Up
reminding
and
me
down.
that I get to work at 5 the next day.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
3:30
Oh.
comes early on Monday.
Oh,
just in time to
happy,
finish the scrum.
happy Memorial Day, Emily. Fuck.
You're going to have
Well,
lots of veterans.
thankfully, around here, I think it's so comical because we grew up next to the beach. It was like an hour drive. Here, the beach is like a weekend trip for people. They're like, oh, we're going on your vacation. Oh, we're going to the beach. Oh.
That's because you're entitled to ask grew up like 20 minutes from a beach that wasn't as close.
Yeah, like everything was right there. Like it doesn't, yeah. So it's just comical. So unfortunately, work might not be as busy. So we'll see what happens. Come visit me. If you know where I work, come visit me.
Maybe don't put that right there.
If you know.
Hey,
But-
I got to point it out since you just had it up there, but Matt had that Good Brothers versus Outrunners main event anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Beginning.
No, that would be great.
Kind of funny.
Hey, the Good Brothers owe us a cruise. I'm just saying.
Yes, they do.
It was Joe Hendry, but I don't want to see him either.
Yeah, but
I'd
I'd
rather
rather
see
see the
him
Good
suck it.
Brothers.
I'd rather see the Good Brothers too.
I can't
No, I think it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of blood, a lot of fun.
Yep. I agree.
Looking forward to this. So hopefully everyone enjoy the predictions, enjoy the show. Let us know what you think in the comments if you're watching this after, or make sure you do our pick'ems. But we'll be looking forward to watching the pay-per-view and talking with you guys more. And make sure you follow us at Cruising Kayfabe, all of our socials.
And whoever gets 100% on these predictions, we have your email.
If we have a correct email,
we'll reach out to you and we'll send you a bracelet package. So
yeah,
just let us know. We will be reaching out. Also, if you want to partake in Anarchy in the Arena bingo, I have some bingo cards that I can send over.
Yeah, so send us a DM and she can get you those bingo cards.
It's just a link.
Facebook doesn't really like links very well, so
let me know.
Yep.
But yeah, make sure
I have the link, so I'll have my card when we're watching. So
awesome.
I figure it's a fun way to stay oh my God. Interactive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Make sure
gives
you
you a little something extra to root for.
Definitely. All right. Well, thanks everyone. And remember, always keep the kayfabe.